Alright guys, I just wanted to go over a few things. I just started packing for my trip. I've got about 8 days I'm about to spend in Colorado, so my basement is a bit of a mess while I pack. But anyway, I just want to go over a few things that I carry on the trail with me when I'm hiking 14ers. Some of the more basic things, as well as some side items that I would carry if it was a little bit colder. Just check the forecast, and up till Sunday or Monday, we're looking like we're going to have like 45 degree P's at 45 degrees at 14,000 feet above. So not going to be too cold, rather mild actually, based on our trip last year where it was in August and we were post-holing on Bierstadt up to our thighs. So a bit of a different hike this year, but I just wanted to go over a few things. And there's 1,000 videos out there on people backpacking, especially for the AT and PCT and stuff, but there's just not a lot of good videos out there about 14er hiking. So I just want to go over the stuff that I'm using, my opinions, and let you know what I think. Alright, so I think first we'll just start off with the pack, the basic stuff here. I currently use an Osprey. It's a Stratus 24. 24 liters is plenty for me. Do like that has the Rain 5 built in. Plenty of pockets, plenty of storage for my trekking poles if I need them to be stored for more Class 3 stuff. Plenty of room for snacks, water, and all of the gear that I carry with me. So next up, I've got Black Diamond trekking poles. I do also have the snow chutes for them, but I don't have them on right now because most of the hiking I do here is in Georgia, and we all know how the snow is here. It's just, non-existent. Carry my phone. I don't usually carry my wallet, but I didn't want to have my credit cards and my ID out for this video for obvious reasons. So just figured I would show that. Carry my GoPro on the stick most of the time, sticking out of the back of my pack. Gives me more hands-free, but also if I'm doing like a interview type video like I did for the last trip, it's nice to have to kind of go out as a selfie stick. Carry some 30 SPF. I probably need to bump up a little bit for the higher elevation, but this is just what I carry around here. Probably need to go to more like a 50 or a 70 with the higher elevation in the sun. Carry a Leatherman just so I have a few extra tools other than a knife. Not 100%, I don't think I've ever used it other than to fix a few things around camp. So not necessarily something you use often, but good to have when you need it. Elevation watch, Suunto Ambit 3, great watch, great for tracking your mileage. Really found this useful last year. The only thing I will say is that this is the second year I've had this watch, and I've had a little bit of an issue with the battery going dead. They say that you could GPS track for 2 days. I'm getting like a day, like an 8-hour day out of it, and then it's knocking out about 60-70% of the battery, which is less than ideal if you have no access to charge it. So yeah, I mean, great watch overall. Other than that. Carry a buff for the sun. Don't use it often. Most of the time I keep my hat on backwards, so it kind of protects my neck. But it's good if there's a little more wind than usual, or you just want to use it other than a hat, or you lose your hat, whatnot. Moving on. This is a new piece of equipment I picked up for this year. This is the Garmin InReach. Mostly picked it up for my wife's peace of mind. Has an SOS feature, if I end up getting in trouble. Great GPS, 14ers offers a really, really nice GPX file for almost all routes. So I have every route that we're doing except for Toward the Abyss, because there's not a GPX file available for that right now. Hopefully I will be able to do some waypointing and maybe get with Bill about uploading it. Overall, hopefully this is going to be a good piece of equipment for us this year, and I really hope that I don't have to use the SOS feature. So move. I carry a Z-Seat. I carry this, anytime I'm out in the woods. It's lightweight. I think it's less than 2 or 3 ounces. So it packs in well in the bottom of my bag. And anytime we're taking a break, when you're in the mountains, there's rock everywhere. So we try to, stay as comfy as possible with as less, amount of weight as we have to take. As I said, I carry a hat. I usually wear it backwards. I don't know. It's just a thing I like to do, and keeps my neck from getting burnt. And every once in a while, I'll put it on forwards if it starts bothering, impeding with my back. Sometimes it'll run into my backpack, and it's kind of annoying. So these are glacier glasses. They're not really necessary for 14ers, but I do like the fact that they reflect a little bit more sunlight away from your eyes than typical sunglasses, about 8% more, which is really nice. I actually bought these more for my Rainier trip next year. Actually, I got these for a gift that I had on my wish list. I was going to buy these, but good glasses. Moving over to more of the basic necessity stuff. I carry a first aid kit, and I know a lot of people that are watching this, they do a lot of backpacking. They're like, Jesus, this is a huge first aid kit. I usually have my wife and my kids with me, so I want to have, everything. This thing does weigh a little bit more. It's about 1.5 pounds, which is a lot of weight, but I might even pull a few things out and just take those instead of taking the whole kit. I think this is one of those necessity things if you're going to hike 14ers. Have a solar blanket, an SOL blanket. Even if you're hiking, and like I said, it's going to be 45 degrees, if a storm rolls in, you can't get off the mountain, you can get hypothermic quite quickly. Good to have if you get in trouble. We all know what this is for, and it's a combo deal. Also, for some reason, I get the sniffles when I'm up there, so it's good to have instead of having to carry Kleenexes as well. In the mornings, I like to have liner gloves. It is a little cool first thing in the morning, so I'll carry these. Never really needed anything more than that, even when we were up last year and it was, in the mid-teens. Never really needed anything more than this with, combined with a jacket. I carry climbing gloves. This is one of those caveat things. I only really carry these if we're going to be doing something like a Class 3 route. There's not really a need past that. Just to keep your hands from getting tore up. If you're doing a Class 1, Class 2, these are way over the top. No need at all for them. It's basically like hiking trails. Carry a beanie, once again. It's going to be brisk in the morning. Not something I can, need to carry all the time, but definitely something that I like to carry if it's going to be cold. Moving on to snacks. I've already actually got into these and eaten these. These are not what I will be carrying, but probably a bag similar to this that's unopened. A couple gel packs, just some carb junky snacks, just to kind of power me through. I carry 2 liters of water, and I carry them in Nalgene bottles because, once again, it's one of those things where if it's not cold, it really doesn't matter. But the hydration packs that come with these Osprey bags and stuff, you can't tell how much water you have left. And another thing about it is I use those Nunu things for a while, and they ended up making my water thing, even though I've cleaned it several times, just taste terrible. So I'm done with those. I like these. They also don't freeze as easily, which is a plus if it's actually really, really cold. This is gear that maybe I won't even take this year, but I'm thinking about carrying it just in case. I've got an ice axe, like I said. I bought this more for Rainier. Although last year it would have been really useful on grays instead of one of my trekking poles, and maybe even Bierstadt. I'm not really sure. Micro spikes, probably we still carry these for sure because we had. I've been getting mixed reports on Longs Peak, the home stretch, having some ice. So better to have them than not. They're not very heavy. Maybe 6 ounces. This will definitely be in my bag, and actually my GoPro attaches to it right here. All the Class 3 routes. Not too worried about, actually catching a fall or anything, but there's a lot of scree and a lot of loose rock, especially on West Ridge of Quandary. Heard some, stories about issues on Longs Peak where people are kicking rocks down. When you get a ton of people on a Class 3 route and there's a lot of free rock, it's always best to protect your skull. So that's pretty much what I carry in my bag. Most of the time I also carry, let's just go over, clothing, starting at the very base layer, synthetic underwear. I like the Patagonia, they're really nice. This, just based on this season, I think I'm just going to wear trail runners the entire time. I like the grip. I just can't get comfortable with my boots. Really was only going to carry them if I was going to constantly be wearing micro spikes because they're a little easier to get on and off of my boots. Darn tough socks. They're darn tough. What can I say? Great socks. Most every day I think I'll be wearing just a regular climbing pant. It's got a bit of a protection here, mostly for crampons, which we won't be wearing right now, but the Mountain Hardwear pants are great. This is something that I'm really going to have to just play by ear this year. This is a long underwear Patagonia Capilene midweight. The pants, I'm not really sure if I'm going to wear them at all. It just really depends on how cold it ends up being next week, and whether or not we're going to actually need them is to be determined. Every day I will be wearing probably the top Capilene. I like that it's a 3/4 zip, and it's a really good piece of equipment to have. It's not too hot. I can easily regulate the temperature. If it ends up being too hot, I put an alternate over here. I'll be wearing like a shorter sock and like some Salomon running shorts and a synthetic, like just a regular REI top, along with the Patagonia R1. It's a really nice piece of equipment. Great mid-layer, way better than the fleece that I had the year before. Would definitely recommend anybody. This is just a great piece of equipment. It's just really well made and just feels great. Once again, if it gets super cold, I always pack this in my pack, mostly for wind, not really for anything else. It keeps you warm, but at 30 degrees or even 40 degrees, these 2 layers should be sufficient unless the wind's really whipping, and then I'll wear that to cut the wind. If we end up getting caught in a storm, I've got my hard shell Arc'teryx rain jacket, great rain jacket. Costs a lot of money. If you can catch them on sale, they're great. But wore it for. We had a trip last year where we took 4 days on the AT, and it probably poured 4 or 5 inches over those 4 days, and kept me as dry as you're going to be. Anybody who's hiked in rain knows that you're never going to stay fully dry, even with Gore-Tex, but for the most part, kept me very dry, kept me very warm. Highly recommend it. Honestly, on this one, I really don't know if I'm even going to need it once again. This is just a Rab Micro Chill, very lightweight, 750 down jacket. Probably going to stay in the bottom of my book bag on the first day, play it by ear the rest of the week. If it ends up being too warm, I'll probably just leave it in the truck because it's more weight, and if it's going to be so warm, then there's really no need for it. But good to have if it's cold. And I guess that's about it. That's everything I would personally carry on a trip up a 14er. And we're looking at doing 3 or 4 Class 3 routes. And I believe a couple of Class 2s, which are going to be kind of warm-up hikes for the week. So if you have any questions, post in the comments below.